Okay, I am going to make a video real quick because it is 2:18 in the morning. I'm tired. I'm plumb tuckered out. And it would be very impolite for me to pick up the telephone and make a phone call right now to any loved one and say to this particular well, hello, I know it's 2:19 in the morning, but I'm tired. Do you want to have a conversation to help keep me awake? That would be very, very rude. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to make a quick video about the wealth tax. It's all the rage these days. And because of inflation and things that we've talked about before, and the cost of living being a little higher and all this good stuff, well, politicians like to run around and say, the fair share, and we're going to do a wealth tax. And in case you haven't noticed, places like New York, Illinois, and California, well, a lot of wealthy people have left and they've moved to Florida and Tennessee and Texas and places like that are more business friendly, more wealth creation friendly, and more tax friendly. So, and at first glance, it sounds like, well, that's pretty selfish of these guys. A billionaire who's worth $7.8 billion, and he's going to leave California, or he's going to leave New York, or he's going to leave Illinois because he doesn't want his tax bill to be $350 million. He wants his tax bill to be $150 million. Well, I guess at that level of wealth, paying $150 million in taxes as opposed to $350 million in taxes isn't a big deal. But herein lies the rub. And by the way, I make custom hats. You see this one here? It's special for the month of June. June is the Sacred Heart of Christ month. And this hat here indicates that God's promises and God's covenant are eternal towards us. And when God makes a promise, he always keeps it. So you can buy this hat here for me by going to my online store. And when I say online store, you have to run up to me and be like, hey, you have to catch me online. And be like, can I buy your hat? And I'll be like, no, you can't buy my hat, but here, you can have this one. So, in any event, the wealth tax, as I was saying. So, the wealth tax, and people are leaving, wealthy people are leaving New York, Illinois, and California, right? They go to low tax, pro wealth creation states. And so, but as I was saying, herein lies the rub. Okay, I'm tired, if I didn't tell you that already. I'm tired. It's been a long week, and it's Thursday/Friday. But, once again, let me get back to my point. Herein lies the rub. Back in the day, if you wanted to tax a millionaire and a billionaire, if you wanted to tax them back in the day, the products and services that these people were offering to have the wealth that they had were in durable goods. Maybe they had a railroad, or maybe they had a steel mill, or maybe they had a widget factory that was built in Milwaukee or built in Pittsburgh, and the guy, he couldn't leave. His product was built, made there, and sold there. But now, a lot of the products and a lot of the wealth that these people have is super duper very transferable. So, they don't have a durable good. They don't have a factory. It's all basically like digital dollars. It's not even real money. So, if somebody's worth $780 billion, it's not in a hard asset. It's not in cars and property and all that. It's pretty much all on paper. And here goes the problem with that. If you say, okay, you know how they've left New York and Illinois and California, moved to other places. If you make it say a guy becomes president, like a Bernie or like a Gavin Newsom, says, well, we're getting, all we need is 5%. Oh, and then we could end homelessness and we could end child hunger, which I'm going to make a video with proof at one point when I'm not so busy, that there's no such thing as child hunger. That is some bull to the pucky to the ish. No such thing as, it doesn't exist. There's no hungry children, not in the United States of America. It's ridiculous. But I digress. Did I mention I was tired? And I'm just talking to myself and to you and all the 6.2 billion people that are going to see this video about the wealth tax, because I'm tired and I'm rambling. But I was talking about the wealth tax again. So listen, hear me out. These people, they can just move to Dubai or they can move to another country and they still have their money. You can't chase them to Dubai to tax them that 5% to end child hunger and poverty. You can't do it. They can just take their ball and go home. There's not a doggone thing you can do about it. It's just that simple. And not to mention, in layman's terms, $1 in the hand of a billionaire is infinitely more valuable and produces way more revenue than the $1 in the hand of, say, someone like Elizabeth Warren, who doesn't produce anything, wouldn't know how to produce anything. If you gave her $300 billion and said, hey, can you crank this out and produce more with it, and produce more revenue, and produce more gain, and produce more prosperity with it? You can't. You give the government, and you give the Elizabeth Warren type of government, you give the $300 billion, and it flutters away, and it disappears, like giving money to a drunken sailor. It's gone. It's gone forever. You give $300 billion to a producer, a wealth creator, they're going to produce revenue and jobs and produce goods and services. And that money gets rolled over and over and over and over and over again. It creates more wealth. Like recently we saw Elon Musk become a trillionaire, right? And of course, as we know, stupid people think he has like $1 trillion in the bank. First of all, you can't have $1 trillion in the bank. Try to go to your bank right now and be like, hey, I'd like to withdraw $15,000 in cash. They're going to treat you like you're DB Cooper, like you're trying to rob the bank. That's what they'll treat you like that. Over $15,000 cash. The bank they don't have cash. They don't have any cash. So anyhow, all Elon Musk's money, it's all on paper. It's funny money. But it still produces more wealth and more prosperity for more people than $1 trillion that the federal government has. Elon Musk, the day of that IPO, in his company, created something like 4,400 millionaires within that company. People that worked for the company, and then they took their paycheck, and also took stock options on their company. And they believed in it. I'm a welder, they even had people that worked in the kitchen. They made their paycheck, and then every week they put money into the stock option. And then when the IPO hit, some people worked there for 5 years, some people worked for 10 years. And when the stock option hit, the magic money, all of a sudden, they were millionaires on paper. Now, do they have $1 million in the bank? No. But do they have $1 million in their portfolio? Yes. Can they use that money? Yes. They can't go to the bank and withdraw $1 million, even though technically they are a millionaire. They can't just go to the bank and say, I'd like $1 million, please, and then walk down the street and be like, and it just. But they do have the money. They can borrow against it, and it's an asset to them, and it can grow. Is this all making sense? So, and as I was saying, the wealth tax is such a stupid idea. It's just a bad idea. And if you don't, I know it sounds good when a politician says, if I had $300 billion, I would save the world. And we would just import 20 million more migrants who don't have any language skills or job skills, and we could give them free Medicare for all too, in addition to the 350 million Americans who are all going to get free Medicare for all. If only we could get a little bit more money from those who need to pay their fair share. I hope this is making sense, because at this point I'm not making sense. I'm still going to post this video, and I think I'm going to make this the thumbnail. What do you think about that? You think it's a good idea for the thumbnail? If this brief explanation of why the wealth tax is a dumb idea, and the bottom line, let me summarize, and I could have made this video in literally 30 seconds by saying you can't do a nationwide wealth tax because these people aren't confined to the nation. You and I, we live here, we make our money here, and we're right to our skippy. We're really fortunate to live here and work here and make our money here, because you can make more money here than virtually anywhere else on the earth. But we're here for the long haul. These people that have hundreds of billions of dollars, they can go live anywhere. You can't wealth tax them. What are you going to do? Be like, hey, come back from Dubai, you owe us money. They don't care. It doesn't affect them. Does that make sense to you? It makes sense to me. It may not make sense to you because I'm tired. But once again, I'm going to put this up here again so that I can use that as the thumbnail. And remember, I'm an ally. I'm an ally. I'm an advocate. I'm an ambassador for the covenants and blessings of the one true living God. All right. Thank you. Thank you for watching.